Okay, so before, I actually used to have a problem with social media and the media in general kind of glorifying, I guess, van life and RV life and nomad life and tiny house living. They made it so big and so popular, like it was a trendy thing to do, especially for millennials, you know? So for a long while, I kind of had a problem with that, where they were like, ooh, look at this new lifestyle. Look how much cheaper it is. Millennials are doing this because cost of housing has risen so much, you know? And I kind of used to have a problem because they would put it out in the media so much and they'd paint you a certain picture. And when you really live this life, it's a whole other ballgame, you know? In some ways, yeah, some of that is true. How they do show some parts of it, it is real. It is a bit like that. But there's also the day to day, day in, day out of normal living that lifestyle. And we all fall into that lifestyle, the nomad life, for a reason, you know? Um, so for a long time I had a problem with kind of the media. Like, I think I kind of wanted it more underground. I didn't want it so exposed. I feel like the true people that do it in their heart, like the true diehards, are really true to it, and kind of probably hold it dear to themselves in a way and don't really want it to be socialized, And a lot of us too, I think, see it as it's no different than living in a house, whether it's a 2-story house or a 1-bedroom house. Like, it's just a house. It just happens to look a little different. It just happens to be on wheels, or RV or whatever, For some people it's a tent, It's no different than living in a yurt or anything else, But I think today, after talking with one of my clients, I think I've finally kind of came to the terms where it's kind of actually okay. I think in some ways I've kind of had a realization today, talking with one of my clients, how, the media has put out these documentaries and shown these photos to people about this lifestyle, this nomad life. And, they've showed, they've done beautiful editing and beautiful pictures, and the average person who lives in houses is like, woo, it's so cool and so pretty, And it's good because I think, like, my clients who live in big, huge houses and have all this money and are not minimalist by far, and none of them ever lived this lifestyle like I do. So they cannot really relate. But I think I realized today, talking with one of my clients, because she's seen these things in the social media and everywhere else, she's like, that's so cool. And I'm starting to see that more and more, where, more of my clients are getting exposed to that. And it's kind of, in some ways, kind of been easier lately to be like, they're like, well, where do you live? Usually I like to know a client for a little while before I'm like, yeah, you see that thing I drove up into your house? That's mine. It's my house. It's my everything. It's a little weird. I like to wait till I get to know somebody. Sometimes they've made jokes about it, like, haha, it's so big you could live in that. I'm like, yeah, something like that. Or I take you camping, it's great for big dogs. I gotta take other places, that sort of thing. Which is true too, but I have to get to know a client for a little while before I'm like, yeah, I live in that, you know what I mean? And I think too, when you have confidence and you're happy and you're content, and they look at you and they're like, wow, you look great, you're in good health, you look so young for your age, you have great energy, all these positive things, then they see the lifestyle of van living and stuff in a whole new light too. And I also try to educate them, like, why I do it, for a million different reasons. But basically, I'm one person who does a lot of pet sits at the clients' houses. It makes no sense for me to be paying $1,000 to rent a room, and I can't handle having roommates or anything like that. I just can't handle to live with anybody anymore. I think it'd be different if I was, like, in a relationship or something, but it's just me and my little dog, and I work a lot, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, I like the minimalist life. For me, it has been a blessing, It's so, I've done this nomad life for like 3 years now, a little over 3 years, and so it's kind of been really great now, because more of my clients are like, that's so cool, or I get it, or you know, and a lot of them are like, oh, I wish I could do that. You know, one of my clients yesterday, she's like, yeah, when I was like 16, I wanted to go live in a big old Chevy van. And I was like, she's like 55. And I'm like, you mean the ones with like the big old porn windows? And she's like, what? Is that what those were called? And I just kind of laughed, like I knew the van she was talking about, you know. And I'm like, you should still do it, you know. I'm like, you know, at least buy one, have fun with it. Why not, you know? And I know deep down inside, like, that's still kind of like a dream of hers, you know? So she just kind of was like, that's so cool, you know, that you live in your van and everything. And I guess I'm kind of now finally come to the terms where it's okay that it's out in the open, you know, that kids and people are doing this now. It makes sense, you know, for so many reasons. So I think it's kind of been easier a little bit sometimes now. And I think because I've done it so long, that I'm so like confident in it, and it's still really what I want to do. It's still like my passion. And I think sometimes too now I'm kind of been showing some of my clients like, oh, here's my channel, you know, here's what my van looks like, or here's, you know, or I have one client that is going to get an RV at some point. I don't think they'll live in it full time, but at least they're going to get one. And you know, I'm like, hey, go watch my channel so then you could, you know, learn some tips and tricks and, you know, products and things like that, you know, and they're like, cool, you know. So it's kind of, you know, I'm still, you know, at times I feel like I'm still new to it, you know, but at times I feel like, oh, I've been doing this for so long, like, because time flies, you know, and to me it just comes so natural, you know, and I think because I've been put in so many different living situations through my whole life, you know, that it wasn't much hard of a transition for me, you know, but I think it's kind of cool. Hi, you want to come say hi? I don't know if you can fit in the shot. Oh, look, you can. Can you say hello? Say hello, everybody. Oh, are you uncomfortable? Why are you uncomfortable? Where's my kisses? Do I get kisses? Do I get kisses? And, you know, nobody's really ever had a problem either with my, you know, dog living the van life either. Like, everybody knows him. They're like, oh my god, he's so cute. So he gets away with everything. And, you know, that's never been a problem. Like, oh, do you have a dog tail? Like, you know, it's never, ever been, you know, a problem. So, you know, when I tell them all the reasons why I do it, and I'm honest, and they're just kind of like, that is so cool. So it's kind of been good. You know, I guess in some ways now am thinking social media and, you know, every source out there that kind of paints it a good picture in some ways, that we're not all like, what is it, The Walking Dead or whatever that show is, you know, that we're all driving big RVs that make meth and whatnot. No, we don't all do that. You know, and especially when they see the van and, you know, and you get to tell them, like, look, I bought this, I bought that, look at all these fun toys and, you know, places they get to go, and they're like, wow, you know, and it's kind of cool to almost so in a way be, like, idolized to where they're like, oh, I wish I could do that. And you're like, yeah, that's cool, I could do it. You know, like I never take it for granted, you know, and it comes with its own troubles, but I think it's kind of cool for people actually like what you're doing, you know. It's always good to be liked, and especially when you're doing something so alternative and so different and so out of the norm, you're always kind of going to be a little cautious, something like that about it, you know. So yeah, so it's pretty cool, you know, and I hope to also be a positive advocate for this lifestyle, and especially, you know, because there's not many girls in it, I feel like, or it's not out there that much. I'm not sure why. I don't know if there's just not many girls that do it, or not many that are out in the open about it, you know. So I also hope to, you know, show and tell other girls, like, hey, you can do this too if you want. Anyone can do it if they really want to, you know. And for some people it's temporary, for some people it's like forevers, you know, like me, it's forevers. Yeah, so I think that's all I wanted to say about that. Yeah, alright, thanks guys, bye.